I am Dungeon Master, your guide in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I am the Dungeon Master, and this is Dragons of Starfall. This is a very special Thanksgiving holiday edition of Dear Dragons of Starfall, where the party finds themselves at a semi masquerade costume kind of ball in Carpathia, in the capital of Kastra, not to be confused with Castra, which is the podunk ass town that the Kojurakus come from. Uh, this is a mighty mountain fortress city that is basically impenetrable and ancient and awesome and most importantly, like actually wealthy compared to the squandered wealth of Castra. And so, as you guys are entering into the party and commingling amongst all of the various guests, you had encountered some of the uh, nobles and other elites who make up the Carpathian hierarchy of dukes and barons and um, regent kings. Because there's a margrave, I believe it's called a margrave, uh, in Carpathia called Kiz. I believe, yeah, Kiz. It's been a while since I studied the map and memorized all of the names because there's dozens and dozens of town names. But Kiz um, is the ancestral home of the old kings of Carpathia, way before um, the dwarves built Kastra for the conquering new family, um, who is also not currently seated upon the throne. Right now, there is a vassal king, a regent king named Dmitri Dragon. And Dmitri Dragon is kind of equivalent to the steward from Lord of the Rings in Gondor, where there was a line of kings, and then when the line of kings didn't have an heir to take the throne, there was somebody from another noble house appointed to be the king until the king returned. And that's basically what the Dragon family is, but it's just Dimitri. He's the one who has been king for about 30 years now, and uh he's not part of the actual royal bloodline.
So he's a vassal, but when is there going to be a new king?
Whenever you know the heir of the actual king bloodline is uh of age and able, or all of that, basically, uh being a high fantasy kind of game and all of this, unlike in the real world where they would just be like, well, there's no heirs, we're not gonna, this is like one of those things where it's like, oh, the heirs disappeared, but one day they'll return, and a
I
person,
see.
of the bloodline will come back and they'll be the king again. And they're like all about
Mm-hmm.
prophecies and all of
Mm-hmm.
that kind of fantasy nonsense that in the real world that would never fly. We'd be like, fuck out of here, I'm the
Yeah.
king now.
It's been 30 years, but
Yeah. This boy is going to replace me? I don't think so. Although, there have been kind of cases like that, but it's always been like a child that they claim is actually of the bloodline or something like that, not, and then they get a whole army behind them, not like prophecies. So it is a little more high fantasy than the real world, but I suppose there is something similar that has happened in the real world. So
I like it this way. I like that it's kind of weird,
yeah,
fantastical.
yeah, it's just high fantasy nonsense, that this is how Carpathia gets through the days, because these are high mountain villages, but not like Swedish Alps, like everything's great and we yodel all day, because we're sucking on honey cough drops. This is the high mountains of Eastern Europe, where life sucks because you're eating potatoes all day every day,
Yeah, totally.
and so in order to like deal with the misery and drudgery and all of that, they rely on a witchcraft prophecy kind of system of superstition and all of that. But it's also a fantasy world, so like when they talk about this keeps werewolves and ghosts and whatnot out of your house, like they mean it. Like there's werewolves and ghosts
Mm-hmm.
and shit, so like look out, because this is the haunted Transylvania, like mountains of the world.
For sure.
So I just wanted to give you guys that good amount of lore dump up front so that everybody had it fresh in their minds, like where you are, because um, there's obviously varied places in this world, and not all of them are nightmare, Transylvania realms like this one, but this one is. So, uh, as you guys are interacting with some of them, it was your uncle, your good for nothing uncle, who had come to you and given you some information about your mother being captured and held for ransom, and your brother leading some kind of foolish rebellion and being hunted as a traitor. And he was basically claiming your family's whole shit, but like you didn't have a whole lot left. So he was just being a sycophant, brown noser courtier at the king's court, kind of living off of his table, since you have basically any money that the family would have had, uh, you know, that's what you would have taken with you. Your mother gave you every penny that they could spare. So, um, they didn't really leave him with anything. So he's just kind of living off of the fact that you guys used to kind of sort of have a name, and even though it's
Yeah.
yeah, even though it's tarnished, like he can still eat for free at court by like being a yes man and a suck up to Dmitry Dragon, and so that's what he's doing. And
What a
Does he have
loser.
men? Does he
what's
have
that?
men or retainers? Like, does he have anybody that's around him, or is he
Well,
just kind of like on his own, mooching off the?
yeah, I mean, he doesn't have like uh a force. That's to be clear here, but he has his personal. If you've ever watched or read Game of Thrones or whatever, Bronn, he's got his personal like. This is the guy who kills people for me kind of guy, and then he's got like three
Okay,
men of his house that like guard his chambers and you know his personal retainers or whatever. So but that's really it, because it's him and then your mother and who else was left from your family? You had some older brothers and all that
Oh,
here.
yeah, and he's married and has kids, so
Yeah,
there's
so like those guys and like these guards like are in charge of like guarding them and uh cleaning, like all of that. They're basically just squires more or less that do all kinds of chores for them. They're not just like soldiers. They don't have any soldiers left. They can't afford soldiers.
Okay, he's a loser. He's a loser noble.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, understood.
Um, and they're at this party, like we've seen them.
Oh, for sure.
And is the family that's captured Castra there, like that's holding my ancestral family
Yeah.
land and my mother there as well?
Uh okay, so yes. Oh, wait. Did I have my button pushed? So yes, they are there represented. No, the guy who is holding your home is not there. He's
Okay.
holding your home. He's smart.
So he didn't travel. He hasn't abandoned the post yet. Okay.
Right, right.
Okay. Just checking. All
With
right.
your brother amassing a force and still a name and able to rally people to his cause potentially, he's not going to give him an opening.
Okay.
And just so that his name is uh George, but spelled like this: Lupul.
What?
There you go. So that is the family that has you, is the Lupul family, and George, but spelled all crazy.
What a dumb name.
Yeah, yeah. He's George.
Yeah, he's George.
So, that's the hey. Like I said, I'm not great with names, so I use random name generators, and when I find one that is that good, I go with it.
Yeah.
I'm a simple man. I like simple things like George. So,
That's the uncle's name, right? You're saying? Or no, wait. That's the guy
that's
who's holding their home.
yes,
Okay.
that's
The Lupul family.
yeah,
Enemy.
your dude, the nemesis. So, um, you guys are here. And I pull up the map.
So do we have to leave our gear somewhere, or?
Yeah. So you're not allowed to walk around with weapons in the presence of the king, even if it is the king regent, because you know that would be stupid.
Yeah.
And-
The dwarves were not afraid of that. They were like, "Yeah, walk in. We're not
well,
afraid of you."
the dwarves like wear their armor all the time. You know, like
Yeah,
they walk around with big ass axes
and
and
hammers and
armor
shit.
and shields and all that. So like they're like they're hoping you pull some. Like
They're like,
go
"Oh, you want
go
to fuck
for
around?"
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that too. But yeah, I mean there is a degree of paranoia here in Carpathia, what with the somewhat civil war going on. I would hate to call it like a civil war in the sense that like the whole nation's at war, but it's definitely
Some
um,
infighting,
yeah, like it happens. Everybody knows like the war of the bucket and all that, right? Like I mean
a
that's
shift of power. You know,
yeah, like sometimes you just got to go to your neighboring town and kick the crap out of them.
it sucks when it happens, but yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes the Packers lose to the Vikings. God damn it. So, get you guys on the map. Oh, wait, not Sir Thomas. You get out of here, boy. You ain't allowed in here. This is the personal dinner of the King Regent. So all retainers got to go eat with the other, like retainers and squires and all of that. This is for nobles and you guys get a pass for your like +1 of Riggs. Oh wait, Riggs has his powdered wig. He's passed himself off.
Yeah, I have a gold one.
Oh
Yeah,
yes, the
are we?
gold one. Yeah,
Yeah, he looks fancy, that's for sure.
yeah. So he's passed
Um,
himself off pretty well actually.
I
Actually,
wonder if
Riggs.
this is.
What? 1 second.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Riggs, would you mind giving me a either performance or deception, your choice, just to kind of bluff your way, through all of this?
I am uh 0 on both, so I'll do deception.
You do have a point of inspiration.
Wow.
Wow. How'd you get advantage on that? Did you use your point of inspiration?
I I did not hit advantage and I did not use my inspiration, but
Huh.
The 18's good though.
Yeah,
Let
it
me
would have gotten you there anyways.
yeah, let me check uh your effects just to make sure everything's good to go. I'm not worried about the roll. You're fine. I just want to see like what's going on with that.
What's going on in the background?
Yeah.
It could be one of his giant stones.
Yeah, I see advantage on sleight of hand and deception because of his cloud rune, which he actually could have activated, right?
Yeah, yeah, he could
So,
switch it out, right?
so yeah, you activate your cloud rune, get advantage on that, and you crit that shit. You're basically Heath Ledger from First Night, or not First Night, A Knight's Tale, where you're bluffing your way into, yeah, I'm a noble.
yep.
So
And
Also,
he's
uh,
dressed. His suit is all gold to match his
yeah,
hair.
I was gonna say, what are you wearing? You're wearing a gold
He,
suit.
he's complete. He's completely gold. So his wig is gold. The suit that they made for him is all gold, and he's just walking around like he's better than everybody.
yeah, definitely. You got that suit made in New Eglia or in the Border Kingdom?
Talking to Brawler?
Yeah. That was in the
Didn't
Border
we
Kingdom, right?
have things made?
Yeah.
So the wig, but I thought we had suits made last week, right?
Oh, that was the dwarves suit.
Not here in
I'm
town,
so
yeah.
sorry.
The
In
tail.
Carpathia, Oh, that's a shame. I so wanted to give you in the Border Kingdoms. They have a very antiquated sense of style due to just being like, you know, the backwoods of the nation. So I wanted you to like come in like pantaloons that like stick out all funny. But Carpathia actually has a very good style, and then of course because they're all Carpathians, you would fit right in so flawlessly that the natural 20 makes perfect sense. In fact, right now everyone is debating which like hot young noble house you've come from, because like you're obviously like one of the Hemsworths or Afflecks or whatever. You're someone big and famous and rich and powerful and all of that, but like they don't remember which one you are, so they're like arguing over which one of the Baldwin brothers you are.
He just
Yeah.
walks in and he's like, "Hello, everyone. You can continue to marvel at my outfit. Can somebody get me a drink and one for my friends too? Because we're just severely bored and parched at the same time, and we'd like to enjoy ourselves here."
So they actually have a variety of drinks flowing, and although there is a very strong dark uh lager kind of drink, they have sampling of wines that range from an almost rosé kind of light red all the way to this crimson glowing wine that some of the noble houses seem to be like exclusively drinking, whereas most of the party guests are drinking a variety of the drinks. This is a big feast, a big to do, and there's all manner of food and everything. And so most people are doing, like, I believe they call them flights, where there's like a bunch of different drinks, and they'll do stuff like that.
That would be a flight.
Yeah. I'm not a big drinker, so I only know this stuff peripherally.
Briggs goes, "I would like the stuff that the nobles are drinking, and my friends, you can choose for what you want, but I definitely want the stuff that's glowing to complement my hair."
Yeah. So as you take this fluted champagne glass, brandy glass of glowing deep crimson wine, you take a drink of it and you feel a warmth the same as you felt. Riggs has drinking potions of healing before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you feel that same magical, you know, warmth flow over you, and you gain 1d12 temporary hit points.
Very nice.
It tastes exquisite. You, and he kind of turns around to the group and he goes, "You may try whatever you want, but this is very good. I like it."
I want to look for the kitchen. I want to see where the food and drink are coming from.
Now, are you here with us, Robert?
Well, I have to be. I don't really want to have to waste time finding another way in. I
That's
assume
true.
that as a guild leader, I could just come to the party.
Yeah.
As long as there's guild members and merchants and leaders.
No, yeah, you've managed to position yourself in the city, in a manner that you would absolutely have been able to secure a seat at this table.
I don't
Not
assume
not
I'm well liked, but
not necessarily where you're at. You're probably like, over here or whatever, but yeah.
So we're not with him, but we see him. We're like, oh, he's here. What the hell?
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Robert, you've probably been here before and would know that the people in the kitchen and all of that are just regular people. The wine is a very special Carpathian brew called blood wine that certain families seem to be particularly uh, in love with.
yeah, it's like when a gangster shows up to it. Like everybody knows what they do, but they allow it. They don't may not like me or treat me as a noble, but like, oh, that guy with his money.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's
It's
that's
just like the
exactly how you get in is uh, the same way that the mob bullied themselves into owning casinos and all of that. Like, what are you gonna do? You can either let the leader of the thieves guild in, or all of your shit can go missing and your family can turn up dead.
yeah. So I just want to keep an eye out for the kitchen. I want to head in that direction.
Yeah, okay. Just go ahead and roll a stealth roll in order to see how well you're able to kind of sneak off and uh, go
The first roll is
lurking
always
about.
the first roll is always a tough one because it's like it sets the mood. Come on, dice.
Except for when you're Riggs.
Oh wow, that's so good.
He just crushes that shit out the gate like it's nothing. So, yeah, Robert, your role was not as well as you could have done. You know that you have ninja skills well beyond that. But a 15 is more than enough for you to sneak past the very uninterested guards in, like, okay, so everybody knows who you are, and so who who is stopping um uh oh god, I can't even remember his name now. Al Capone. Who's stopping Al Capone from like going to the kitchen in a restaurant, even if like he isn't supposed to or whatever.
I'm just gonna help out. I'm a lend a hand here.
Right. So everybody just kind of looks the other way and doesn't notice, and goes about their business. So even if somebody got lucky and did see you, like they didn't see nothing. so so you go and walk into the kitchen and you know you see peasants milling about doing their preparations, opening up various kegs of the regular dark lagers and all of that. They've got the cooking fires going, making all kinds of the dessert stuff that's coming. Like they've already made, most of the big feast, and now they're cooking like the hot and fresh desserts that are gonna come out after you guys eat this big fancy feast.
I'm just gonna keep an eye out for the butcher, see if he's still at work, see if I can give him a hand.
The butcher?
Yeah, like I'll grab an apron and say, "Let me get in here. Let me show you a few tricks if he's
Oh
still
yeah,
cutting."
yeah. Well, the butcher is only focused on one thing right now, and that's turning the entrails into one of those like messed up desserts that like are gross.
Blood pudding.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like stuff like that. So yeah, a form of blood pudding, is being prepared, and so he's doing that like real gross like. And do you want to,
Yeah,
be
I'll just roll up my sleeves, take off the jacket and hat, put on the apron, and just help them out. Just be an extra kitchen hand for a little bit.
yeah. So uh, you should decide. Are you being like nice, and therefore it'd be
Oh
like
yeah, no, definitely.
okay. So go ahead and roll like persuasion. Like it's not even necessarily a verbal thing, but you know how like your body language can convey like, hey, I'm just
That
here to
roll.
give you a hand, and
Yeah, in the kitchen, you can kind of just, when you know how they work, you can kind of just slip in there, and people usually aren't going to be like, "No, we don't need the extra hand."
well, but it depends. Like if he's
But I
busy,
could still.
right? If he's busy and he's
Oh, we
doing
screw
this,
up. Oh,
yeah. So he kind of, you know, sees you coming in, and he's like, hey, don't, if you mess this up and it falls, the king will have us all killed.
all right, I'll just follow your lead. Just let me be the next pair of hands here. I'd rather be back here than out there, if you know what I mean.
Uh so he says, if you want to help, what you need to do is pull that one out when I tell you to, and he hands you the big paddle for pulling shit out of those big stone ovens.
Oh yeah, okay.
And now you gotta roll a dexterity check in order to do it exactly. And if this was a telltale game, you'd have to do it at exactly the right time as the timer counts down. But like we don't do that. So just roll whenever.
Straight roll. There we go. That's not too bad.
Yeah, you get in there, and he's like, okay, now, and you deftly slide the paddle underneath the pan and pull the blood mixture out, and it's like a souffle. It's got this perfect bubble on it, but it's all just liquid lava blood inside a perfectly like gelatin like shell. And congratulations, you've made the gross dessert.
All right, so I'll just spend some time here while the rest of the group is out doing their thing in the front. I'll just kill some time here, maybe an hour.
All right, so meanwhile, back in the dining room, you guys are, of course, you know, doing your various things. Riggs is preening and loving the attention, and Lady Angelica, you find yourself, sans uh, Sir Ector, Sir Thomas More, and therefore you have a choice to make. You can, remain coy and silent and play that, up, or you can speak, or you guys can try to convince them that Sir Thomas is not just a knight, but that's going to be pretty hard, given the totality of the circumstances.
I will use the telepathic link for Riggs, Arn, Electo, and myself. And I will sort of stay by Electo and use him to make introductions. Work with Electo to make introductions as we approach people. But that way, the four of us are in communication psychically as needed. And I'm keeping an eye on my brother and my uncle. Trying not to think about my mom and my brother.
Pretty
But
hard, right?
Yeah, well, I want to keep it. see, like, I don't know if I want to approach them or not, but keep an eye on them and see if they interact with each other or if they whatever they're just see what they're doing for now. But if people come to talk to us, I allow Electo to make introductions.
Okay.
Indeed.
Well, eventually, you do see your brother, one of your older brothers, uh, come and speak to your uncle, and he kind of motions at you, and then your uncle seems to be glowering at you uh for like the rest of the night.
Uh, are we like on a first? Like, is this like an upper area, or are we on like a first floor?
This is a raised area, but not not like the castle is only like 3 stories tall, so this is not like high in the sky kind of, it's just a raised area off to the side, and then underneath you is just like more kitchen fires and all of that keep this whole place heated because it's like freezing ass cold up here in the high mountains.
Okay. Um, I'll let Electo know that they're watching us and that maybe we'll sort of move off to a side and see if they approach.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I'll be with you guys as well. By the way.
No, I'd rather you keep your distance. There's not going to be a fight here, I don't think.
Okay, I'll be hanging out with Riggs. I'll be like following Riggs to all the groups he walks up to and just laughing at everything that Riggs is saying.
And
I'm like,
you guys,
Riggs really loves these parties, man. He's a freaking life of the party.
No,
And-
maximum funny would be Riggs being like, "Nah, I'd rather you keep your distance from me too."
but you guys are aware of what I'm thinking and all that, so I've made you aware that my uncle and brother have seen me, but I'm not worried, as it were. My brother's a piece of shit. My uncle's a dummy, so neither of them scare me particularly.
They'd be stupid to challenge us or challenge you anywhere where we're near. We have Electo. Electo is the weapon, so
Yeah.
And indeed, as you move off to the side, your uncle continues to glower at you, but eventually, your brother comes up to you and says, "Well, little sister, I never thought I'd see you at court here in Castra. Come to ask for some money, have you?"
Let's see.
You-
I'll
I was just gonna say you can say whatever it is that you say, and Electo will convey that
Yeah.
pretty much verbatim for however you say it.
I've come to pay respects to my for my late father and to you, he's the Baron, right? He's the new Baron.
No, your uncle is claiming that.
Well, but they both would have claim, right? Or
Yeah. He has claim, but he's like basically like going along with your uncle, like, oh yeah, no, it's the uncle that has the rightful claim, not our line.
okay. Uh, well, and then pay respects to my uncle, the new Baron.
And he looks at Electo as Electo is saying this, and he looks at Lady Angelica and says, "Still, huh?"
Lady Angelica will whisper in his mind, "I can still." You don't want to hear my true voice, do you? I remember your nightmares when you were a child.
Yes, I believe that Mother said in time you would heal and be okay. The fact that you are not makes me wonder.
Wonder what, brother?
He looks at Electo and looks at you and gives you a look that you have to roll insight to try and. Well, no, I would guess like you could kind of just read his surface emotion, but you didn't.
Yeah,
I mean, you let me know how you want to handle this. Do you want
I would definitely be sort of. I'm already sort of probing against his mind and like,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just I'm not trying to like take
No,
control
no,
of your
no, no, no,
character,
no.
so. Anyway, so you kind of can tell that he's like, what about Baldy over here? Do we really need this guy, you know, um Arabian Howie Mandel, like knowing all our family secrets and everything?
Uh, uh, Lady Angelica will say, if you'd like to speak to me in private, you and Uncle are free to join me later. Anywhere you'd like privately. I'm happy to talk to you.
The Baron is very unhappy with your presence here. Uh, I mean, Mother surely told you that he was the one who had argued in court that you should be killed and, led to your essentially, imprisonment for your entire life, like the only way your life was spared was that you weren't going to be allowed to leave the tower and everything. Like that was all him.
Well, if Uncle would like to try and take my life now, he is free to come meet with me.
Oh, I mean, okay.
Electo doesn't say anything, but he's visibly like his face changes to being very angry.
Yeah, well, the brother looks at you and he's like, well, I mean, you wanted to stick around and take a look at our laundry. How dirty is it now? You like that? You like the stains on our underwear?
Uh,
This is paraphrasing.
yeah, no.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
If if the Baron has things he'd like to say to me in private, I will make myself available to him.
uh, well, your uncle is sitting across the table from one of the more respected but diminished houses. Think like Scipio, from ancient Roman history and all of that. Like, definitely respected. You know, many people want to know how he's going to vote in order to vote along with him in order to seem smart like him and be respected like him and all of that, but the actual amount of power and money wielded is rather small compared to, houses like the Lupus house, which has a whole lot of soldiers and like a couple of conquests under their belt already.
Well, if he doesn't want our family business aired out in front of my friend here, he certainly doesn't want it aired out in front of that uh, our noble family. Again, if he gives me a place and time, I'd be happy to meet with him. I'm I know my limitations, but I am happy to see what role I can play in the family.
At
But
that, he tells you to come at the crack of dawn to one of the towers on the outside of the castle there, and um, he just walks away back towards your uncle, and starts, loudly intermingling and being the not like total douchebag, but just that whole personality of like walking into the room and punching everybody in the arm, and be like, "Hey," like he's that kind of guy that just he's got to be loud and in your face, and it's not necessarily bad, but it's just a lot. And you guys are now alone again.
I could
Uh,
see his laundry stains from a mile away.
yeah. I'll tell Electo that this is a good opportunity for me to do my part to help my family um, in the best way I can. So um, I'll sort of get a drink and mingle around standing by Electo as we sort of make small talk and all that, but I'm not going to approach my uncle or brother. I'll just sort of keep my distance for now and wait until morning.
All right. Arn, well, you and Riggs are, you know, hanging out and having the crowd kind of, whisper, trying to figure out, who Riggs is. Uh, Somebody in a very long, dark uh, dress and a black mask over her eyes that comes down over her face in like a veil, but it's see-through, so like you can still see her face, but it's veiled. And she walks up to you in this mask and this long dark dress, and she wants to know, what noble house are you from?
I'm not.
She's asking Arn, so.
Oh, I thought you were talking to Briggs.
No, no, no. Riggs, they're like relatively
Uh,
sure that he's part of this like really famous.
giving out any.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you breaking up? Are
Uh,
you trying to talk? Hello, Riggs.
no, I retcon that. Sorry.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
guys hear me?
Yeah,
No, we didn't hear any of it.
you were breaking up.
I
I could
retcon.
hear you trying to talk, but we didn't hear a word of what you were saying. But you had already rolled a 20 to convince everybody with your deception, so they're already convinced that you're part of a very famous, very popular house, and that you're just one of those brothers that they've never heard of or whatever. But like all of the women are just a Twitter about like, who is this Gaston like, creature who comes walking in here, part Liberace, part Shaquille O'Neal. You're just fancy and masculine and metro and all of the best parts of everything, and they can't figure you out, so they're just uh, all gossiping about you. But Arn, you of course were lorded over in the border kingdoms, and Carpathia, having never been fully conquered by Caledonia, like they couldn't give a fuck about the border kingdoms, and and
So,
and so they don't know, even all of the nobles from the border kingdoms, though they would be welcome here and all that. Like they're not like, I mean, not well. If they were invited, they'd be welcome. but
Totally.
but like they don't keep up enough even to know all of the ones that already exist, let alone ones that were like just created out of Viking ass warriors who came down and all of that. So uh, this woman, with her long dark dress, uh, and her see-through but black veil over her face and her long raven black hair, comes up to you and wants to know, what noble house you're from.
My name is Arn Brynjolf. I am not a noble around here. We're just a guest of the court. We assisted in yesterday's event. There was a few creatures that we assisted in defeating. We're just guests of the court.
Oh, I only just arrived tonight. I fear that I shall be uh, gone in the morning, but perhaps you could entertain me with your tale. And she kind of like offers you a drink out of nowhere, where like her hand just like reaches back and like Bugs Bunny pulling a hammer out of the air, like just has a glass in her hand and is offering you a drink.
Fuck, I don't want to take this drink.
Do it.
No, I don't. Arn is a disciplined man, and he's not afraid to say no to people. He's very big, so he goes. He kind of just pushes the drink away from his mouth, and he says, "More for you.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. Well, please come and tell me your tale anyway.
I can share some time with you." And he'll follow her, but he won't take the drink. But
Okay.
he's at a party, and he might as well hang out. I mean, Riggs is just basically nonstop talking about his outfit and his hair, so he needs something else to talk about.
True. Yeah.
While that's happening, Lady Angelica will start to sort of bounce against her mind a little bit, trying to see what she's about. And if she gets anything, she'll let Arn know psychically.
Okay,
Yeah,
so the first thing you would know is well, actually roll a history check,
me or Lady Angelica.
Lady Angelica.
I know the script is set out backwards.
Damn, nice roll.
Yeah. So you know that she is a very ancient house, um, that is not uh, like extremely like wealthy or powerful as far as soldiers and all of that go, and yet like nobody ever attacks them. Like for whatever reason, their house and their lands and all of that are just like a no-fly zone that nobody would even ever even talk about, like, hey, who doesn't have a whole lot of soldiers or like money to stop us from just taking their stuff, and like nobody even talks about it. So it's a powerful house in that way. Her name is Amalia Vladimiri, and you knew of her father because your mother had talked about him extensively with you, as he was a man that you would stay away from. And uh, his daughter, Amalia, was, basically growing up with your brother and everything. And so even though it wasn't constantly, they would occasionally attend the same like big noble gathering events and all of that, and he would sometimes tell you of her immense beauty and just overwhelming presence of like he basically had a crush on her from the time he was like 9 until uh yesterday. So yeah,
Hey,
yeah, I see divine sense there. Are you doing that?
one second. Okay, so the feature, it's always up. So whenever I come in the presence of a strong, so not to metagame, but from context clues and from where we are, and from all the blood imagery, Arn is starting to get a bit, uh, you know, starting to get tipped off on some weird activity, and he kind of like sniffs the air and wonder and tries to see if some of his divine sense gets triggered off here.
Yeah, so just that you know exactly how this works. Uh in the context of the raw rules, you are correct that like it's just kind of always active and all of that. In this world, this game and all of that, it does kind of work like that, but it's like the elven blades from Lord of the Rings, to where when your divine sense picks up the presence of something, your eyes start to glow. Uh so not like super bright, like give your location away constantly and all of that, but like it's definitely like you are scanning them, but they know that you just scanned them.
Oh,
So,
okay. Okay. But so I was reading it here. It says you can use this feature number of times equal to 1 plus your charisma modifier. So
oh, it's
it's
not
not
always
always
active.
present.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I should have scrolled down before saying it's always active.
Okay, so I wasn't gonna argue or look it up right now because I'm more focused on this because it wasn't important. Because you don't pick up anything anyway, even if you do activate it. So,
Hmm.
so,
Okay.
because it says it gives you the presence of fiendish, celestial, undead, and what else?
Those three, you have until the end of your next turn. You know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within
Yep,
60 feet of you.
yep. So nope. Oh,
Oh,
but wait, do you activate that?
so that's the thing. I already said I did, so I think I did.
Okay,
Like
okay.
you already gave me an answer, so it'd be
Yeah,
unfair if
yeah,
I
yeah. Okay.
didn't.
So yeah, okay. So if you do that, your eyes start to glow softly for a second, and you scan, everybody, and she doesn't react, like she doesn't give a shit. But within 60 feet of you, there is an undead.
So I'm looking around, and then like I kind of sense it in the back of my neck, and then I like my eyes dart over to who. It says I know the location of it, so you
It's
know the type.
it's coming from inside the building. It's sitting on the throne.
So I look and I look away very quick. Like I look away very quickly, and I just take a mental note. And then I walk over to the lady. I mean, do you think I should try a stealth check to see if I did that stealthily? Can I try at least to see
Oh,
if she
sure,
noticed me?
sure, sure. I'll allow it.
Yeah, my stealth ain't too good. So
Well, I mean, it doesn't hurt the game to throw in a little, chance for you to
hmm
to be a little sneaky about it.
12.
Yeah, you like I said, you don't know, if she noticed or not, because she doesn't have any reaction. She just plays it cool, even if she did see something, and
hmm
continues to try to convince you to come over and tell
hmm
me your story.
So after he does that and he looks back at her and she kind of notices that his eyes are glowing, it turns off and he goes, um, and he kind of like nods his head and he follows her.
All right.
Are you going to warn us about the king?
Oh yeah, you're right. I can talk to you through my head. I totally forgot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally
Hold
say
on.
that in the head.
Wait, hold on. Roll a wisdom save.
All right. If this is some sort of charm thing, let me look through my abilities. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Give me 1 second.
and it totally is a charm thing.
I do. The wording was, dang it. She worded it as a spell, motherfucker. Or maybe she just has to look at me. Who knows?
You look over at the king and you look back at her, and maybe you like have the sense of mind and you're a brave paladin who knows how to do this, and maybe you get caught in her charm and you're just like, yeah, let's go over there and be out of here.
Okay, so the only thing I can possibly do is just add my proficiency bonus to my save here. So
Okay. Which is it not already added to that or no? So yeah, just add that.
no, so I'm rolling a wisdom save, but then I'm adding my aura of protection to the save.
That was a check. Yep.
Oh, oops.
You tell him. You tell him. All right. So as you are feeling this, cartoon like pull to float in the air and follow this enchanting woman over into a dark corner to tell her your story, you suddenly shake your head and remember that oh yeah, that king is totally an undead over there. So like,
So, okay, go ahead. You
oh
can finish.
no, yeah, by all means. I was gonna say, so you do what?
So I look at her, and then my eyes kind of glaze over for a second, and then I blink and I shake it off, and I go, "You really almost got me as a fool, woman. You almost got me." It's quite unfortunate that you failed at that.
You hear Angelica's voice in the back of your head. Stealthy, real stealthy.
What do you mean? Well, I know that I'm being charmed, and she knows
Yeah.
that she's charming me. So
Yeah.
It's actually a effect of just looking at her, like she didn't cast a spell.
yeah, and Arn's not very he's not very smart with that kind of stuff. So he looks at her and he says, "Well, I think this is where our friendship ends."
She looks all confused at you and says that she doesn't know what you're talking about, and although you're immune, quote unquote, to her charm effect for the next 24 hours, um again, like, she's not casting a spell. This is just like why she wears a veil in public, is that like you have a save, that you're not just like
Mhm.
falling at her feet in love with her, like
Mhm.
the Sword of Truth series, when the confessor touches you and you're just like devoted to her for the rest of your life.
Yeah, totally. I'm just kind of playing how Arn would play it. He would be like, "You almost got me," like kind of very blunt, like saying it out loud. He'd be like,
So
"You almost got me."
she's like
It might be a
"Whoa."
curse. It may not be like that she wants to do this either. Having everyone like you and follow you and attracted to you is actually a bad thing.
Well, maybe you can kind of interpret it as that, but Arn does not interpret it like that.
So she's just like really like confused and a, a little bit offended, because like out of everyone here, and like she could literally have just about anyone here come like entertain her in whatever way, like she had chosen you, and you're spurning her now, so she's like starting to get a little bit offended, and like almost like is uh starting to get angry with you.
Okay, so in my head, I alert Lady Angelica and the rest of the team very like right away. I go, "I think I might have pulled a string with this one."
The girl likes me. Help me, guys. I don't know what to do.
Well, he's just letting you know that this might get a bit ugly right now because Arn is not going to entertain her, guys. Sorry. He would definitely back. He wouldn't be a dick and like fucking try to kill her. He's not going to do that in this situation. But he is definitely not going to be tricked like that. So he's going to walk away and just kind of like for the rest of the night keep an eye on her and just say like, you know what I mean, in his head he's like, you're going to have to trick somebody else. You almost got me, but you know, good luck.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I'm not, opposed to you handling it that way. Like I said, you're a paladin, and you feel as though this woman may have tried to, use witchcraft against you or whatever, and that's not cool, yo. So,
But I know it's probably not kind or a good situation to start punching her. So he's
yeah.
gonna.
So Arn, you told the rest of the group.
Fuck, I did, but I go back to Riggs and I say, don't freak out. Like like in from like just my voice to you. I say, don't freak out. Do not overreact.
So Riggs kind of turns to the woman and he goes, "I see you like my friend, but he is mine." And then he kisses you.
Fuck. I do nothing. I just back away and I like shake my head and I walk away from her.
she kind of gives you guys a look and seems to like be like, "Oh, yeah, I'm duh," and
Should have guessed.
yeah, she's like, my bad.
Wow, thanks for really fucking saving my skin there, Riggs. Oh my god.
Riggs just laughs and is like, "Back to the party. Let's go have fun."
I do say though, keep an eye on that woman though. See if she tries to trick anyone else to, to her game. I think I don't know what she is. She's not undead, so she's not a vampire, but she is definitely very charming. I know because I think before I met you, we encountered another temptress back in not Waterran. Yeah, back in Langenberg, there was this woman with fire red hair, and I succumbed to the same sort of feeling earlier, and I would not be played again. So I know that this woman here is trying to trick people into following her into that corridor. I don't know for what, but there's definitely an undead person at that crown, so we should go talk to Lady Angelica about it. I don't want to make decisions while we're here. I am definitely taking a retainer to under her. You know what I mean? Or not retainer. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyways, I'm second to her first.
Secondary position, yeah.
Yeah. So let's go figure it out with her.
In the kitchen, I heard all the serving girls just go, "Oh no!" They just saw the kiss and went, "Oh no!"
Yeah, absolutely. Like the gossip spreads very quickly after Riggs kisses Arn, and all of the girls are just like heartbroken.
Good, honestly. Leave me alone.
Not you.
That's funny.
I'm just trying to save you here, bud.
No, honestly, that was the best play you could have done there. Oh my fucking god, you really saved my ass. Yeah, that was perfect. But yeah, I'm gonna reconvene. So what's gonna happen is we're gonna slowly make our way on the floor, kind of towards Lady Angelica, but I'm not gonna look towards her. We're gonna be all four of us are gonna be near each other, and then we're all gonna talk in our heads, kind of back to back. That way, people don't know we're chit chatting and spreading information.
All right.
To be fair, they couldn't have done it anyway.
Hold on 1 second. I need just a real quick bio break, but this is a perfect opportunity for you guys to be able to discuss everything or take a bio break yourselves. So I'll be back in just a few moments, but feel free to keep the role play going as you guys discuss, what you're going to do about everything between yourselves with the king, the woman, and anything else, the uncle, the brother, etc. And I'll be right back.
Did I screw that one up, guys, by telling her by being obvious with her?
I mean, we don't know what she is, so.
Yeah, but I mean, if I was another character, what I could have done instead was pretend that I was charmed and kind of go with her, but I'm not going to play that sort of game.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm of the I would say that Angelica's would say
This is new for you, right? You figuring out that guy's a fucking undead? I mean,
No,
he's probably a vampire.
Yeah, no, I mean, let's say there are rumors like the guy's been king. The family disappeared. This guy showed up and took over as king regent. Anyone who stands up to him vanishes. So everyone knew he was he's a bad dude. But he's also not he hasn't been a terrible king either. No, I mean, he's just sort of been in control for 30 years. Everything's kind of continued as it was. While I think her opinion would be while it would be good to rid the world of such an evil, this would be a very hard thing to do in his castle. I mean, he's surrounded by his guards. No one would believe us. Even if they believed us, they wouldn't take up arms against us. We don't know how many other vampires are in this building. There could be hundreds somewhere beneath us.
In the town, yeah.
Yeah.
Arn says that the only one within this building, though, and the 60 feet around me, was him. So.
Yeah, we have
well, there's definitely not only one vampire when there's vampires, right?
Yeah, it seems unlikely. And we don't know what she is. We don't know whose side she's on. And I don't know. I think, again, our goal, Angelica would certainly just be more interested on her dealing with her family and going to find her mom. I think we should deal with this and then head south to find the man responsible for Riggs's family. A vampire might be a problem for another day.
I agree. Out of character, Arn is a conquest paladin. He's not like a oath, or he's not like a goody two shoes kind of guy. So, he's not bothered leaving it here. I mean, he wishes he could do something, but he is also kind of on a mission. So, because I learned that I'm not a paladin because I'm godly. I'm a paladin because I'm Nephilim, apparently. So, yeah, fuck the vampire. I'm down to leave the vampire. I'm not gonna deal with it because then we have to fucking kill another king, and I don't know if I want to do that right now. So I want to help Lady Angelica's mom because that is my top priority. Especially after meeting her family, and that's also Dragos' mom. So I'm like, that's fucked up. We got to go help him. And definitely Riggs. With this Robert guy, we have a lead towards Riggs, and Riggs has been nothing but helpful to us in the last few months. We just met him, but he's great. He's a great guy. So we need to help Riggs. So yeah, I mean, fuck the vampire. I'm totally in agreement with you. And plus, we have to leave because Robert already has a mission that we need to go south. So we need to kind of connect him to our group sooner or later.
Yeah, that's really, when things like this present themselves, it's not necessarily a call to action. It's the reality of the world.
It's just world building. I understand.
There's a vampire king here, and if you're in the presence of him and you activate divine sense, you're gonna know it. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, that's why I didn't freak out because I know that there's going to be a lot of stuff like this other places, so we shouldn't be surprised.
Exactly. Don't be surprised when you go someplace and it's like fiend, undead. Yeah.
Illithid.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think we'd just be hanging out. I mean, we kind of got what we needed. We got some information about Lady Angelica's family. We know that there is some unfortunate government here that's running these people.
I have a rendezvous tonight with my uncle, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, and also, Lady Angelica is completely right that this guy's, bad as far as all that goes, but he's the normal bad of any
the
king.
Normal bad.
Yeah, like every king has skeletons, sealed within their walls for treason.
Yeah, we've met some pretty shitty kings, so I think we're kind of getting burnt out on them.
Exactly.
I think that's the theme though of this world.
This guy's actually pretty good, really. Like on the overall scale, like Lady Angelica was saying, like the economy is okay, and like people are
People go
mostly
missing, but that's normal around these
like the
parts.
normal amount of people go missing,
Yeah.
like standard amount of missing people.
And there's infighting, but that happens in lots of places, and I think it's sort of the way here. Like, there's not,
No questions asked.
Yeah.
So
But this would have been the worst place for Logan. He definitely would have cast Turn Undead.
Oh,
Thankfully, he is not here because that would have been a problem with the vampire. Because vampires are, I mean, I don't know what level.
They
Oh
have
no, we
resistance
could
to
fuck
it.
up a vampire.
You could probably beat a vampire, but can you beat a vampire and his, army?
Vassals, yeah, no.
yeah, and people who don't think he's a vampire or don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
We would have to get him alone somewhere, which is hard to do, I think.
Probably.
Okay.
Hey, come meet us at the beach during the sun.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. So unless this woman comes back
actually,
up to me
this
during the
doesn't really
party, I
care
do
about
not
Undead at all. So I don't-
address her.
Yeah, no, she goes and disappears in the corner with like the third best looking guy in the room.
I go, Riggs, you're second.
I'm number one in your book.
Sure.
And so yeah, she's gone, and you guys eventually reach the point where the feast turns from the feast portion to the dessert portion to now is the grand dance, and everybody has to partner up, and you guys
Okay, I'll make sure I come back for that.
okay, of course, it's like this is the big to do, the whole reason why everyone is here. And so everybody has to like grab a partner. So you guys either quickly choose like one of each other as partners, or like one of the other nobles or is going to choose you, or you're going to be forced to choose them, as like everybody grabs a partner within like 3 seconds.
I pick a pretty lady that's around me.
Yep.
I'm already standing next to Lady Angelica, so I would ask her to.
Well, that's the prettiest lady, but I'll find the second prettiest lady in the room. Which was that
You guys are gonna fight now,
succubus.
aren't you?
Yeah, so you go to walk over to the pretty lady, but like everybody is grabbing partners like it's some kind of hoedown, barn dance, and like there's just almost chaos as everybody's like just grabbing arms. It's not like, oh, will you dance with me? This is like you just grab the person closest to you, and like that's your partner. And so you start to walk over, and one of the girls just grabs you, and she's fine. There's nothing wrong with
Her looks
her.
don't matter. It's okay. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I,
She's just some girl, There's she's not special. She's not. Well, I mean, look.
it's okay. Don't worry. Don't
Everyone
worry.
is special, okay?
It's
So,
okay.
like,
It's okay.
don't anybody go taking this out of context. And, like, I'm saying that like, there's nothing unique enough about her as an NPC to bother describing. She's just an NPC who grabs you to dance. Lady Angelica and Electo, by sheer proximity and by Electo asking, like, everybody else had grabbed everybody, and so you guys just, grab each other as partners. And Riggs, you have been kind of stalked for this moment, like a gazelle on the plains by a hungry lioness. You have been eyed up and chosen, and now the chase is on, you're the bouquet being tossed into the bridesmaids, and it just explodes as women start to grab you, and they tear at you like Cinderella, her wicked stepsisters, but like they're just trying to pull you as like, he's my partner, no, he's mine, and they're all pulling you in every which direction. What do you do?
So I kind of go, ladies, stand back. I have a little surprise for you. And then I do Giant's Might, and I grow in size. And I go, I will dance with 5 of you. And he just picks up 5 and takes them to the dance floor.
And that happens to be all of the women who were,
I'm gonna
basically
cheer. I'm gonna let her know like oh yeah.
nice. Uh,
Oh my god.
all of the women who were like ready to elbow each other and were ripping your clothes off, and all of that to get you to dance with them, you pick them up in your massive arms and carry them out to the dance floor to dance with all 5 of them, and it's a very entertaining and crazy scene, and everybody just looks at the giant golden god Adonis that you are, as you dance with all 5 of these women, and it becomes a centerpiece attraction, like some kind of high school musical, Grease, where everybody just all of a sudden is like dancing around you as if you're the lead of the dance and everything, like, and it's somehow all choreographed, although there would have been no time to have planned this. Yes. Like it just works like perfectly as
They
they.
only know 2 dances.
Yeah.
And
Everyone in the
Riggs
world
is
only knows
loving
2
every
dances.
minute.
What's that?
I said Riggs is loving every minute of it.
Oh yeah, the attention's all on you, and yes, absolutely. Everybody in the medieval world like only knew a selection of dances and all of that, but somehow this just turns into a musical episode of everything, where Riggs dancing around with these 5 women somehow is like accentuated by everybody else as if they're backup dancers, and it becomes this big huge scene of um amazement and entertainment. There it is. You know,
Can I do like a athletics check and start doing acrobatics and stuff, or jumping around crazy?
yeah, do athletics. Let's have you like you know, lift them up into like a pyramid, or like juggle
Yeah,
them or
like a
something.
cheerleading squad, right? I'll do an
Yeah,
athletics
yeah,
check.
yeah, like cheerleading. Exactly. You got it. Yeah, yeah. So, exactly, like you're even bigger and stronger than some of the biggest and strongest athletes in the world, and so you just effortlessly lift them up into various uh, poses and configurations. You do the triangle, the star, uh, all kinds of stuff, and um, you end by having all 5 of them spread out behind you like the tail of a bird displaying, um, like a peacock or a turkey.
And he just kind of, with his gold wig, he's very proud of himself, and he takes a bow for the rest of for everybody watching, and he goes, "Carry on. I hope you all have fun. I'm going to go over here and have another one of your Fine glasses of wine that warmed me up earlier.
I clap. Arn claps for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like
He gets
that's
down.
yeah, this was a very successful, you know, display by Riggs. However, that is only one of the three successes that you guys will need in order to pass this skill challenge. So, Arn, Lady Angelica, Electo, and Robert, who wants to roll next? You can either roll athletics or acrobatics, but you can only roll each of them uh, once each. So you guys have to get three successes. It's not before a certain number of failures, but like all of you only get one roll. So you choose athletics or acrobatics, and you try to dance your ass off.
Right. I actually want to see if I can switch off with Electo. I want to try to maneuver myself so I can switch off and dance with Lady Angelica.
Okay.
And Lady Angelica get advantage that she would have had like training on how to dance and all that. And
You can spend your point of inspiration.
nope, I'm not gonna do that. Hey,
She gets down
There we
too.
go.
uh,
Oh,
so
Elect-
Not
the
impressive.
dice agree with you that you do have training in this, and you
We're gonna
flawlessly
look great if you take my hand.
yeah
Because I got a 19.
you flawlessly execute it because Robert has been here long enough to have learned it as well, and so even though Electo uh, being from Al Qadim has no idea how this, fancy uh, European dance goes. Uh, you switch off with Robert and manage to get the third success, and so you guys are all um, able to impress the other nobles enough that all of you are accepted and welcomed into the Carpathian court enough to where like you can consider yourselves local heroes per se.
Sweet. I don't
Electo
gotta
got
dance.
the Electo got the girl with the turkey leg in her hand.
You stole Electo's girl, man. He was already with her.
Yeah, I think what was happening is he
Just
was
off of
doing
the girl
fine,
who
but
has
he
a
was
turkey giant.
Uh,
well, and he wasn't expecting you to cut in. So I'm imagining that Robert just kind of cut in, and then Electra was like, "Wait a second," and then he got totally thrown off by that happening.
Yeah, absolutely. You were just starting to like follow along and maybe figure out this dance that you've never done before when all of a sudden like Robert just like comes barging in and takes Lady Angelica right in step, and so you were put off and thrown off, and he threw off my groove. So,
Yeah,
Yeah, but we
literally.
look great doing it. We look great doing it.
yeah. Oh yeah, you just totally like
Sorry.
flawlessly
Sorry,
pulled
sir,
Lady
but
Angelica into your dance, and you guys look almost as perfect and flawless as Riggs and all of that like together you're stealing the show, all of you as a group, and that's why like it's such an extreme boon that you're getting from all of this. You know, when I say treated like local heroes, I mean that background folk hero where you can get you know basic accommodations and all of that just like thrown at you and given to you when you go to this place because everybody knows you and is like, "Oh yeah, here, come stay at the castle and eat our food and supply yourselves for free."
Sweet. Luckily, so I don't have to roll, but when I dance with my person, the lady that grabbed me is particularly small. She's short, so I have like I'm like holding her in the air and her legs are dangling, and we're like not tangling. What's the waltzing? We're like waltzing,
Okay.
and I go, "My name's Arn."
And she just is continuing to try to move her legs and dance, even though you have her up off the ground.
Oh,
And
sorry. If you want to get put down, you're just kind of short for me.
and well, unfortunately, with yes, exactly, with as tall as you is and as short as she is, either you hold her up off the ground, but like she's trying to do the dance, like she can't not move her leg. It's like holding a dog that's still trying to run up in the air, you know.
I hate that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and so she does that, or you have to be like totally bending over in order to like try to dance with her, and so you look equally ridiculous on your end then, but it's you know it's pick your poison. Is she up in the air or are you bent over like Quasimodo?
Yeah, she's up in the air, but
Yep.
yeah, just a side thing. Just that was funny.
Yeah, so you guys, all managed to do that, but Robert, when you cut in with Lady Angelica, is there a greater purpose to this? Were you trying to
No,
get
I'm
her
just actually
alone
just
during
gonna.
the dance?
No, just I'm actually gonna let her lead as much as you can with whatever the dance is, and
Oh, it's like
you get a
some.
natural 20, so I'm gonna give him the whole lead and just be a gentleman to dance.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's some crazy like far eastern European kind of dance. Like this is a lot of leg moving and just you can't even like begin to imagine the craziness that I have in my head when I'm picturing this
Yeah.
dance. So like take whatever like halfway Greek or Russian or whatever and river dance and whatever you want and mash that into the craziest thing you can think of, and it's kind of like that.
Yeah. Uh, when he cuts in, like Lady Angelica will continue doing the dance. She'll be all smiles, but like her level of distrust and sort of unhappiness with the situation is strong enough that he can almost feel it in his head. Like, um, Lady Angelica still doesn't know what to make of him. Doesn't like how he behaved the night before in the fight, and is not entirely trusting. So she can do the dance. She knows to keep smiling. She doesn't let it seep into her face, but her anger is almost physical. Like against, you can almost feel like heat from her, and
Well,
not
no, I'm
afraid.
definitely, and as soon as she goes to move away, I'll definitely just do the bow and move on to the other rest of the dancers.
Yeah, and so as the dance finishes, the king stands up and everybody's just still slowly like clapping. There's like a whole clapping portion of it at the end, and like they're doing it like in this really slow, steady like beat, and the king begins to do the breakdown of the dance, and um you know how like some dances you like do the crazy Russian kicks, and some dances you like spin around really fast, and some dances you like pick a table up with your teeth. And like this is kind of like that, where there's a demonstration of power and all of that has him begin to rise up off of the ground and levitate in the air as he continues to kick his feet outwards in this dance that they do, but he like floats up into the air and everybody just continues to like clap along with the beat because he's like doing the kicks like really slowly. And once he's floating up in the air, he continues to kick out to the rhythm of the claps and spin, and then suddenly disappears and all of the lights go out. Whoosh! And the guards open the doors, and you guys are like all caught up in the crowd as they like begin to file out through the doors.
Who's they? The guards?
No,
Everybody,
yeah, the
you,
party's over.
you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I thought this was like a setup. The lights go out and then like people walk in the room and then we were gonna get attacked or something. No,
No,
okay.
they're walking out. Everybody's
Oh,
pushed
okay,
out.
okay. I misread the situation.
Yeah. No, concert's
What?
over.
It's late, I assume.
Yeah. I mean, it ain't early.
So Lady Angelica will head to the tower to go meet her uncle and brother.
Lady Angelica, would you like one of us to accompany you and kind of wait for you outside, or should we just wait for you up at where we're staying?
You can just wait where we're staying. I'm confident that I can handle this, or at the very least, escape without issue.
Okay. Just remember, if you need us, just send to one of us, and we will be right down the street.
Yep. You can all fly there if you have to. So.
Yeah, baby, we got flying carpet.
Riggs is grabbing a bunch of bottles of wine on his way out.
Is Riggs toasted by now? Have you been drinking a bunch of wine?
Yeah, but not totally there yet. He's got a high tolerance, so he's grabbing as much as he can.
You're a little bit wine drunk.
Yeah, a little bit. He's trying to grab the stuff they gave him with the warm
Blood wine.
Yep.
Grab one, dude. Just fucking snatch a couple off the table and take it with us.
Oh yeah, he's grabbing as many as he can. I don't DM how many are there he can grab.
Oh, there's like dozens of drinks, bottles, etc. around. But to determine how many you're able to grab, you're gonna have to make a stealth check in order to try and sneak them. Otherwise, like if you are just real super obvious about it, the guards are just gonna come over and be like, "Hey, would you like to pry the gems out of the king's crown quick too while you're at it?"
You should try to take just one bottle, just one of the bottles.
No, I'm gonna do a stealth check and take as many as I can. That's what he would do. So.
Yeah, man, you do you, bro.
That's what Brian Boitano do. So you're grabbing bottles, and every time like a guard looks over, you just like take a guzzle of the bottle you're currently holding. So like they think you're just like finishing
Acting
off.
natural.
Yeah, they think you're just finishing off bottles rather than like grabbing them.
And they're like, "Oh, that's fine. We're just tossing those anyway."
Right? Yeah, like saves you the trouble of having to toss an empty bottle if you're finishing them off and all that. So they don't see you like stuffing your purse full of them, and you're able to grab 7 bottles.
And he starts handing some to Arn too. Arn, help me out here, brother.
I go, "What are you doing? Why are we stealing the bottles?"
Don't tell anybody. Just take them. It'll be fun.
And before anybody notices, I freaking am aiding and abetting now, and I grabbed 3 bottles.
I accept Kanye's gods. Yeah, I grabbed some money from the cash register too.
Well, he's like handing it to me, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And I grabbed the bottles.
So, you now have to roll a stealth check though, because even though he hands you the 3 bottles, he's like, all right, conceal these, and so now you have to try to conceal them.
All right, I'm wearing a suit.
You do have 3 points of
Yeah, I am.
inspiration.
And I'm not wearing a suit, so it's not a disadvantage this time. A suit of armor, excuse me. I'm not wearing a suit of armor.
I was gonna say, well, you're at least wearing one suit.
Oh, that wasn't with advantage. I'm just gonna roll another d20.
It was not with advantage. Yeah, well,
Fuck.
stick with that one, you know. But as you're putting the bottle into your pants, uh, you're sure that the guard is you know looking right at you, and so you like try to act really natural, um, but you have a really obvious like bottle down
A bulge
the
bottle in
yeah
my pants.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and somehow the guard just like waves you through.
All right. We fucking head off. And as soon as we get back to the room, I'm like, stop giving me your stolen items.
I knew paladins couldn't take this.
Couldn't take
You did
this.
good, Ari. Thank you.
Take it. I took it. It's done.
Yeah. He goes, we can afford wine, Riggs.
It doesn't matter. We're still having fun.
And he goes, whatever. And he starts drinking the bottle. One of the bottles, as soon as we get back to the room, he was not getting drunk at the party. He was way too on edge. And now that he's in the room with you guys, he's taking a few drinks to the face.
And Riggs goes to the rest of the group. Come on, that's for everybody. Let's go. Let's have fun.
That woman had me so tense. I was watching her the whole time. I was afraid she was going to try to charm one of you, and I would have to go save you.
Riggs says, take a couple more drinks and forget about it. We're having fun now.
I do. I will. I'll take a couple. We're going to be heading out. We're not going to have this kind of luxury for probably a couple months on the road. So,
Yeah,
do it.
depending
remind
on
me.
everything. Oh, what's that?
Yeah.
What's that, Electo?
I just said, don't remind me. He,
Yeah.
you know, if we have to rough it, we will. But it would be nice if we didn't always have to.
Yeah, I mean, this is the closest thing to civilization you've had, in a long time.
Hmm.
The dwarves may have, like, provided you with, like, some
They were like
respite and-
stone slabs, remember?
You're
The
right.
beds?
Yeah, exactly. Like, that was not comfortable for you.
They put some furs on it, but it was not a bed.
So, as far as everything goes, like, yeah, this is not Al Qadim with, it's extreme luxury, but
Mhm.
this is at least human concepts of like what is comfortable or not.
We have sheets, warm food, we have wine. It's not we have a fire, it's fucking nice compared to the rain and shit that we had to walk through to get here.
Yeah.
We're clean. We got to take a bath.
We're all wearing nice clothes. Yeah, I would enjoy this night before we leave again. Yeah, but definitely, I think that's all I want to do for the rest of the night. We can jump to Lady Angelica.
Yeah.
See what this goes to.
Yeah. So
What I have to do is go get my stuff. I have to go get all my gear and prepare everything for the trip.
Mm-hmm. And we were going to meet up the next morning after this, correct? With you?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
yeah. So, you guys obviously make it back safe and sound. Arn gets silly and downs a bunch of shots doing his drinking now that he's no longer worried about being
Totally.
Seduced by succubi that somehow don't register as fiends.
He just starts challenging everybody to a push-up contest in the room. He's like, "Who can do more than me?" And he starts doing push-ups. He's pissed drunk.
And like just to show off, he's like doing variations of push-ups and all of that just to just to like keep doing it, and then he'll continue doing like a one-handed push-up while he takes a drink. Yeah,
And then
just
I burp. And I go, ugh.
yeah, just like totally being the out of control jock about it, but
He's being
like
silly. He's being silly for his
but
friends.
yeah, but it's actually kind of entertaining to watch. Like as you like are realizing that he's just really into drinking and is happy that he can do it with you guys now. Like you understand, that it may seem like he's showing off or whatever, but it's just how he is when he's happy drunk, and it's kind of endearing. So, uh, Lady Angelica, you
Mhm.
you wait in the tower, and you wait, and you wait, and the sun comes up slowly at first. You know how it like gets light before the sun really comes up, and it's like, oh boy, here it comes, and then all of a sudden you can see the orange and reds and all of that. Well, uh pinks. This is Carpathia, so even when the sun does come up, it comes up like shades of gray and ugly, because this is London times Seattle to the power of depression, so uh, everything is just muted and um, not as vibrant and all of that. But when the sun does finally like start to come up and shine over the horizon, your uh, brother has still not shown up.
No sign of my uncle or brother.
Yeah, no, your uncle is not supposed to be here, but you can roll perception or reach out with your mind meld to see if anybody's like around. Yeah, so um, you can see like there's nobody here. So yeah, no.
So they bailed.
You're not really sure. Like you're kind of worried about that. It's in the back of your head, but do you wait or do you go? Do you
I'll wait a little bit longer and see if I can feel anybody coming, but otherwise I'll get ready to leave. Um,
So when you say a little bit, like I don't wanna hem you in to like a specific, but to you is a little bit like 5 minutes or 50 minutes,
I'll give them about half till the sun is fully up. Like there's no doubt that it's past sunup.
as soon as the sun is fully up and shining what passes for light here in Carpathia through the, windows of the tower and lighting everything up because of the angle that it's at. This is the east uh, facing tower, so it gets like the direct rays from the rising sun, and it floods into the watchtower with such intensity that like you can feel yourself getting tanner by the second. And um, suddenly you also feel the presence of your brother. He's still like 60 feet away or whatever you need, but he appreciates that you've learned to um, eh, be patient enough to wait for him, because he needed to ensure you can sense all of this as he's approaching. That he needed to ensure that you were not a vampire. So the sun shining through the tower, and you still being here proves that.
Have you arrived?
Yes, and you can like sense, his thoughts about like, oh, okay, so she's not, a vampire, because that's what he's been dealing with, and as he, talks to you and tells you, what's been going on, basically, like your uncle is like in league with the vampires around here, and he's, using their influence to like take over your family. But the good news is that your brother has actually been in contact with him, and he
With my uncle?
oh, this is your brother.
The guy here is my brother.
Yeah, but your
Brogos.
Dragos
Yeah, okay.
has been in contact with him, and together they have a plan to not only uh, take back your castle and rescue your mother, but expose your uncle and all of that as well. So they're going to be working on that. However, you should know that in your absence, the Lupus family has discovered uh, your mother's journal, uh, detailing some of your uh, stuff, and basically, if found, you're likely to be killed, and uh, s- s- not just killed, but like burned alive and purified, because you're some kind of evil that can't exist. And he's like really like laying it on thick about um you know what your mother wrote about you, has like condemned you, and he's like shaking with like anger at like all of this, because he doesn't believe it. Like, he doesn't think that you're a demon, or whatever they say you are, but that's what they say you are.
And I can tell he's telling the truth, or
Well, you can roll insight, or you can just say that you're like reading his thoughts if you have the you know spell slots for it, which I think obviously you should. So
yeah, I mean, yeah.
so
I certainly know if he's telling the truth or not. I'm not in his head. Like,
right. Yeah, you don't have to be like going through his childhood memories bit by bit
mhm.
just to be able to tell whether he's like actively trying to deceive you. So yeah, no, he's like being very open and honest with you, and he actually is like really angry about this, because he doesn't believe some of the things that your mother wrote. He's never seen you transform or anything like that. Like, he knows that you have like some messed up powers, but he believes in like the fact that you could be a sorceress and not necessarily like be some evil, creature or whatever. Uh, Magic is not really like allowed or practiced per se by the common man, but just because a lot of people here in Carpathia view it as solely evil, like, he doesn't necessarily subscribe to that newsletter. So as far as he's concerned, you're like a sorceress and like a normal girl, and like people should stop picking on you.
Um, well, how can I? I'll just ask him. Where? How can I find Dragos? Where is he? I want to speak to him personally.
Oh, you don't find Dragos. You just leave a message at the message stone that we, have our system for, you know, hiding messages and letting the other come check them and vice
Right.
versa, because Dragos is number one, Carpathia's most wanted, like, right now.
Where's the stone?
Yeah, he gives you the coordinates.
When he gives it to me, I'll sort of give him a nod and leave. And I'll go to the group and tell them that we have to make haste from the city, that my life could very much be in danger if anyone figures out who I am exactly, and certainly what I am. I'll be very dead. So it's time to go. And since we know where the stone is, I'll say we should make for this stone to see if we can't find Dragos, and then head towards my mother.
Yeah. So what do you guys have to say about that?
Well, while you were gone, it's kind of early. We see you come home. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're kind of up at. Don't let me speak for everyone, but I'm kind of up at the table, packed and waiting for you to get back so that we could leave. And as soon as you get back, I say, "Are you okay? Are you going to be fine to go? I mean, you haven't slept all night."
I'll rest on the road.
Your safety is of the utmost importance. We need to get you out of here
Yeah,
right
we have,
away.
and I need to see that journal. I need to know what my mother has done, and there are many questions that she can answer. Only she can answer, and so we need to make haste. And my uncle is very likely assembling forces against us, and very likely the vampires. So none of this place is safe for us.
Yeah, your uncle had a really sour face for you last night. But from what we're learning, so this is out of character, kind of. The brother is kind of secretly good, is what we're finding out. Your
Yeah.
brother?
Yeah, I couldn't. I had planned to murder him that night on the
Yeah.
tower, but didn't get to.
He was actually like, I kind of want to get our mom out of there. I don't feel good that she's in there with
Well, it's not
those
her
guys.
mom. It's not his mom. I'm his half sister.
Oh, so it's just because
Yeah,
he
we have the
wants
same
kind of
dad. Yeah, same dad, different.
But
he just
he just
wants the
doesn't
home.
he just doesn't believe that Angelica is like a demon, like what
Mhm.
the journal supposedly says.
But so it's just common courtesy. He's letting her know that they know stuff about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
he's angry that they're spreading such rumors about his family, but I don't know. My uncle gets to live another day. I'd planned to kill them both last night, but things didn't work out that way.
Well,
Anyway,
lady.
we should get on the road.
Yeah, if you're ready, we're ready. Let's go. We can leave
Okay.
at haste. Post haste.
So
Out of character, I would have helped you with that if you had actually tried to do that. But the uncle was a dick.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I could have done it very easily on a tower. It would have been really no problem. So
she could handle herself. Don't forget that, Robert.
yeah.
I like that all he had to do was glower at you, and that's enough to justify murder.
He's stolen the family
Yeah.
title and
Okay. Yeah.
everything it ruined, and shit on my dad, and
then he looked at you funny.
yeah.
That's the icing on the
No,
cake.
he had zero chance of surviving that exchange with me. So
Luckily, he chose not to show up.
Yeah. So
He was probably gonna bring some people with him to fucking catch you. Who knows?
again, none of that on a tower on a high point where no one else can fly. I'm not at any risk.
Yeah.
Very, very good point.
So we leave the house this room that we were appointed, and then we meet up with Riggs in the same place where we first met. I mean, not Riggs. Sorry, we meet up with Robert, the first place we meet, or where we met.
Leave.
We had a bit of time constraint.
It makes no difference. If you're ready to go, let's get down the mountain. 'Cause it's a long trek.
We are anxious to get going.
We
Well,
need to find.
the
Yeah,
the stone is up the mountain.
that's fine. We're gonna head towards. We have to make contact with my brother. Um. So I like. Do we have or do we take horses or are we on foot?
So here's the thing about horses.
I was
Uh,
gonna say, I don't think so, right?
yeah, they require a lot of grass and do really poorly on narrow mountain passes where grass doesn't really grow.
Um.
We're hoofing it to the first city we find to buy some horses. I'm down to buy horses. We got
Well, and if
money.
we're going up, then there's probably not going to be any. It's not until we get down into the out of the
We'll
mountains
get.
where we'll be able to get horses.
But
Exactly. Yeah.
so I will like. Let's as we are heading towards the stone, I'm going to start like reaching out and seeing if I can find Drago with my mind. That since I should know him well, see if he's anywhere within the stone.
How far is the range on that?
It's unfortunately, I think it's fairly limited until I see him. Once we're connected, it's like if. Let me pull it up. So,
Do you have
to make
ascending
it.
stone with him?
No, I don't. But to make a connection with him, I have to be within 30 feet. But once we're connected, it's a mile.
Right. Yeah. So as
Actually,
you
it's a mile equal to my charisma modifier, so it's 5 miles.
wow, as you are reaching out with your mind to sense the presence of your brother, the only thing you get is residual, like he's been to this stone.
Okay, I will leave him like a message, not using his name, but like a nickname, and then signing with like a nickname. Something that would have identified it as me without saying my name, and tell him that we are on the way to find Mother.
And we leave him a Tusky token to confirm that it's us.
Yeah, and we will start heading towards Castro and assume he'll catch up with us.
Okay. And so on the road to Castra, you guys get your full rest because obviously this is going to take a while. And um, on one of the nights that you're traveling, do you travel on the main road, which is the King's highway, basically, or do you take a more, you know, farm
Is there any?
trail kind of
So
kind of route?
Are
I
there
think we
trees?
take the road, but I think we take the road because we're on a mountain. You know what I mean? And there's like one good path. So we're taking the road, and then
No, no.
I
Once
think
once you get, you guys are eventually gonna get down the mountain.
Yeah, once we're on our way
yeah,
to Castro, there's a main road and other options. But
understood.
yeah, it's not like high mountain pass anymore.
I was just going to say that we're taking the road until we get to a city because as soon as we get horses, we can go off land. I think that we should grab horses for this journey. It would save us a lot of time.
Well, there is a city at the foot of the mountain.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to. Can we grab horses? Can we just like quickly buy some horses there?
Well, here's the thing about like all of that. Um, Most of the horses were like more of a you know, you can have your horse cared for, or you can like sometimes uh buy like a pony, a foal that's somebody like already has enough horses and all of that. But like most of the horses are like owned and operated by people the way that like your cell phone or your car is, to where it's like if you walk into any given town, like most everybody has a car, so there's a lot of cars, but like they're not gonna just sell them to you unless you like come in and offer them like a stupid price for them.
Okay, that's fine. If this isn't like Waterman where there people are selling horses, so
Yeah,
I
that they actually have like a horse reputation there of
hmm
like, breeding horses that are really good, and then so like they have a whole market for horses there. This is more like just a mountain camp kind of town where like you can restock and resupply before heading into the high mountains, and they do have horses for doing some of the work and all of that, but people don't just have like horses for sale.
okay. Let's
Yeah, they
scratch that
need them.
then.
They don't want to sell them. They need them.
All right, scratch that.
Exactly.
We keep walking to well, and I in that case we're well, since we're in Carpathia, guys, there's crazy stuff in the woods here, man.
Yeah,
So
I'm sort of the opinion we follow the road until we get closer to Castor, then we go off road, so that we can sort of observe the city from a distance and figure out the best way to approach.
agreed. Road until we get near Castra.
Yeah, and then we can sort of circle around the city and find. Because I remember when we left the city the last time, there was a ridge that we could overlook it burning. So if we can find that spot, we might get an idea of how we can get into the city.
All right.
Plus,
Good
theoretically,
memory. Mhm.
plus I can find my mom. Theoretically, I can reach out and locate her in the castle.
Hopefully, we can wait till night, and then you and Electo can fly in and see
Yeah.
if you can reach her. Yeah. All right, that sounds great. Let's we take the road until we get maybe a few miles outside of Castra.
Like a half day outside, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay,
Far
a
enough they
half day.
couldn't see us. Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys are traveling the road, and like this is a long journey. This is, you know, day one. You guys, are sleeping and resting, and uh Riggs, this is one of the few times where like I'm gonna throw a suggestion at you, like this, because you do really well with this as per normal, and I certainly don't want to play your character, but I think it would be kind of cool if like Riggs is still wearing his outfit and his wig like on the third day, like he's still just like won't
Yeah.
won't 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 give it up, you know.
Are you
Yeah.
Riggs? Are you still wearing your suit, your golden suit?
Oh yeah. He's still living it up like that was. Like he's a legend now. He's walking around like he's really a noble.
The suit has like dirt stains on it, and you're still wearing it.
Yeah. He doesn't want to shower,
Not that there's anywhere to shower along the road anyway, but yeah.
but he's still savoring it up.
Oh yeah.
He just has his armor over it.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
so, by like day 9, this is turning into a real Jim Morrison's leather pants kind of situation where like his refusal to change into a new outfit has like started to annoy you guys with its smell, if nothing else. And you know it's not an annoyance where like I'm telling you, that you have to react or anything like that. I'm just giving the like overall vibe of it is like, okay, at first it was like, yeah, he doesn't want to change, and then after a few days it was like, okay, let's see how long he goes without changing.
It
But
was kind of
like,
funny after a little bit, but now
yeah,
it's like, all right, dude, uh, you need to change.
right. And so as this goes on, um you guys become a bit, you know, whatever, annoyed, whatever, by it, but um it's right at, that point in time where like you've just been on the road with the same people and seen, rigs wear the same clothes, and
Staring at the same mountain for
yeah,
9 days.
yeah, you can't get it off the horizon. It's just there, it
Yeah.
doesn't move. Yeah, and so, just everything is getting to you guys, and so uh you spot a little roadside waypoint in bed and breakfast type of place. One gloomy, cloudy, just overcast, nasty day, and like out of the fog and all of that, you spot this bed and breakfast type of establishment, like uh it's a waypoint. It's a spot for weary travelers. Like, you know, that that way for 50 miles is nothing, and the next 100 miles is nothing. So here's something.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're near it, and I look at Riggs and I say, "You need to change back into your traveling gear. That stuff is not going to get you anywhere."
As long as they have peasants who can help me dress and feed me, I'm fine.
I'm sure they do.
Well,
Kind of half
carry
annoyed.
on then.
All right, let's go. He's a real
Yeah.
method actor, Riggs.
So
Before you go on, let's turn on Divine Sense real quick, just before we get in there.
That's a good idea. Yeah. If this is like a Hansel and Gretel kind of thing, like the witch's hut.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when we get within range of the house, I would turn on my divine sense, kind of lift my nose in the air and sniff out some ghouls or goblins.
so fiends, celestials, and undead.
Undead. And I know the location and I know what it is.
Yep. So nope.
Mm-hmm.
And Riggs goes, "You guys and your fancy spells," and he just keeps on walking past them.
I'll just look for human trash, any kind of footprints, blueprints, or any people.
Yeah, yeah. You can roll your investigation for that.
Shit, that one I have a negative. No, terrible.
Yeah. So you're trying to study it and all that, but it's just it's got a door and you can
Hold on,
walk.
I actually might have advantage.
What?
Oh, sorry, I got cut off. I was gonna say, just give me 1 second. I might have had advantage. Give me a sec. Sorry, I got a tracking.
I didn't hear that you let your
I think
finger
it's
out too soon.
if it's people, it's
Sorry,
his
I'm
finger.
checking if.
Are you continuously letting your button off, or is your mic just cutting out? Because I hear a part of what you're saying and then nothing.
He's checking his abilities.
Yeah,
He wants to see if he has any advantage on this.
Ah.
yeah. I don't. I have wisdom survival checks to track your favorite enemy, which I guess it would be, but then it wouldn't be an intelligence. It would. That's not.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly. So
so I failed this one.
yes. And it's got a door.
go ahead.
All right. Well, we're just gonna get in. We're gonna fill up on supplies, and we're gonna head out. We don't want to be um, staying in place for too long. We're kind of being watched, I feel.
As you go to open the door, suddenly it begins to shake.
The door?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not opening it. Riggs was opening it, right?
Yeah.
Hi, Riggs. Up to you.
Uh, it starts to shake.
Yes.
Um, okay. Can I? I don't know. Investigate it or something. Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, the door was shaking when Arn went to open it, so you can investigate if you like to like see what it is, but that would be, a more thorough investigation of everything.
well, I mean, he's gonna kind of want to see what is going on, right? If the door's shaking, is the rest of the house shaking, and is the floor shaking? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
where's it coming from?
So
So,
as you step forward to like investigate everything, suddenly the entire house like bursts forward with little pseudopods trying to grabulate you guys. It is a giant mimic, and that is where we draw to a close for this session of Dragons of Starfall. I want to thank you guys for playing. I want to thank anyone who's watching. And as always, everyone, good gaming.